எழுத்து ஊரெல்லாம் மகன் பேச்சு ஒரு கீர்த்தி எழுதலையே எழுதவோ படிக்கவோ ஏழாத தாய்ப்பத்தி எழுதி என்ன லாபம்னு எழுதாம போனேனோ பொன்னையா தேவன் பெத்த பொன்னே குலமகளே என்ன புறந்தல்ல இடுப்பு வழி பொறுத்தவளே. நீங்கள் நினைக்கலாம் என்னடா சம்மந்தமே இல்லாமல் பேசலாம் அப்படின்ட்டு. இது எல்லாமே வைரமுத்து அவங்க அம்மாவுக்கு உருகி எழுதின ஒரு வார்த்தை. எதுக்கு இந்த கவிதையை சொன்னேன்னா, இன்றைக்கி நம்ம பார்க்க போகிற விஷயமும் இந்த ஓகே லெட்ஸ் என்டர் இன்டு த டாபிக் அண்ட் டுடே we are going to see about the parturition. Okay, how the mother delivers a baby. Okay, the objectives here is introductions and the factors influencing the parturition, onset of the labor, mechanism of parturition, separation and delivery of placenta, labor pain, and involution of the uterus after parturition. Introduction here is what does the parturition means actually. That is a thing that gives birth to the baby. In this period, the uterus is more excitable and there comes a rhythmic contraction, which finally causes the expulsion of the fetus. The exact mechanism behind the parturition is not observed yet, but we hope or we assume some factors that is encouraging the parturition to be happened, especially the uterine contraction. Here the factors are basically classified into two different things. One is the hormonal factors and the other one is the mechanical factors. In the hormonal factors, we are seeing about the increased estrogen to the progesterone ratio, increased oxytocin level, effects of fetal hormone. In mechanical factors, that is a uterine musculature stretch or the irritation of cervix. First of all, the progressive hormonal factors. First thing, that is a increased estrogen to the progesterone ratio. Actually, we are well familiar about the estrogen and the progesterone. Here, the progesterone is mainly to inhibit the contraction of the musculature, that is in a uterus, so that it will prevent the expulsion of the baby. Whereas the estrogen increases the gap junction between the smooth muscles, causing the contraction and also increases the degree of uterine contraction. Okay, you can observe well in the graph as both the estrogen and the progesterone level keeps on increasing up to the 7th month of the pregnancy. After that, the progesterone may remains constant as a straight line, or the curve may get down, that is the level of the progesterone falls, but the estrogen keeps on increasing. So finally the estrogen to the progesterone ratio increase, and we are assuming that the estrogen and the progesterone ratio is considered to be the factor to cause the uterine contraction. Oxytocin causes contraction. It's a well-known thing. And why we are saying that oxytocin causes contraction? Here, the oxytocin receptors are increased during the later stages of pregnancy. So, the responsiveness for the given dose of oxytocin is increased. One thing. And the second thing is the rate of secretion of oxytocin is increased during the labor pain. Whenever you observe the level of oxytocin of a woman in the labor ward, oxytocin level will be increased. Okay, and that is considered to be the reason. And on stimulation of stretching of cervix, okay, here the head of fetus acts as a wedge and it will usually causes a stretch or irritation to the cervix, and here the neurogenic reflex takes place and it will transmit the signals to the neurohypophysis, so that there will be a release of oxytocin. And here the hypophysectomized animals to deliver young ones, but the time of labor is prolonged. What is meant by hypophysectomized animals? The removal of hypophysis is called as hypophysectomized animals. when an animal is hypophysiectomized, there won't be any secretion of oxytocin, right? So without the oxytocin, the delivery will occur in a normal way, but here the duration of the labor is usually prolonged. Okay. And the action of oxytocin. Oxytocin is usually acts in two ways. One is it directly acts upon the smooth muscles and causes the contraction. The other way is it stimulates the production of prostaglandins by the fetal membrane and decidua, which enhances the oxytocin induced muscular contraction. I hope you can understand. Yeah, the prostaglandins will stimulate or enhances the contraction that is caused by means of, okay, oxytocin. Here the effects of fetal hormone, this is the third cause. Okay. Here the three different hormones are there. Fetal oxytocin, okay, that will causes the uterine contraction. Cortisol, it will causes the maturation of the respiratory system. Here you have to note this. Here the surfactant maturation occurs usually, and this is a sign, and further the baby proceeds towards the labor. Okay. And uterine contraction occurs. The prostaglandins, as I said previously, enhances the oxytocin induced contraction. Here the exact picture of the hormonal thing is explained. Okay. Actually I have said that oxytocin is synthesized by means of posterior pituitary. Here the oxytocin comes and it stimulates the myometrium, okay, that is in a muscular uterine musculature. This will causes the contraction of the uterine musculature, one thing. Okay. And the second thing, the cervical stretching. Okay, the cervical stretching will stimulate the posterior pituitary to release the oxytocin. Fine. And we are getting into the effects of the fetal hormone, right? I have said about the fetal oxytocin. Actually here the fetal oxytocin is secreted, and that too causes a contraction of the uterine wall. Actually CRH stands for the cortisol releasing hormone, and the basic way is the CRH will stimulate the anterior pituitary to secrete the adrenocorticotrophic hormone. This in turn stimulates the adrenal gland to produce the cortisol. Actually this happens. Okay. uh, Here the circulation of the CRH occurs, and this will enter the fetal circulation, as well as the hypothalamus of the fetus will also produce the CRH, which in turn stimulates the pituitary gland to release the ACTH. This ACTH will produce the cortisol. This cortisol causes the maturation of the surfactant, as well as it causes the activation, that is in a myometrical contraction. Okay. And here the prostaglandin secretion will also occurs. This will further stimulate the myometrial activation. I have mentioned everything, that is the hormones, in a single picture. And progressive mechanical factors. Okay, here the progressive mechanical factors are two in number. One is the stretch of uterine contraction, and the other one is stretch or irritation of the cervix. Okay, simple stretching causes a increased contraction. Usually every muscle, every skeletal or the smooth muscles, whenever it is stretched, and it will causes the contraction, the followed by the stretch there comes a contraction. Similarly a simple stretching causes the contraction, but here the intermittent stretch occurs during the gestation period. This will also elicits the uterine muscle contraction whenever there is a repeated stretch. But here I have mentioned intermittent stretch. What is the meaning of intermittent stretch? This is actually a constant rhythmic stretches that usually occurs with a period of time. Okay, that is what intermittent stretches. And this will elicit the muscle contraction. Here I have to explain one thing. Whenever there is a single baby, there is a stretch occurs, and okay, fine. Because of this stretch, there comes a uterine contraction. Yeah, we know. If there is a two babies, that is, here I am supposed to mean about the twins. Okay, if there is a twins, the strength and the intermittent stretching of the uterine may be frequent and strong. So here you have to note that the twins are born 19 days earlier than that of the normal single baby. Okay, this is a good example, I think so, for uterine contraction. And here the stretch of cervix is being a very important thing to cause elicit the uterine contraction. Yes, of course. Here the stretching or irritation means the disturbing or stimulation of the nerve endings that is present in the cervix. Okay, and this will transmit the signals to the body of the uterus and sometimes to the hypophysis for the secretion of oxytocin. This comes under the hormonal control, but I want to stress here. So, as we know that the irritation is the main thing to elicit the uterine contraction, our obstetricians will do one thing called as rupturing of the fetal membrane, which makes the cervix to be irritated to the maximum so that it will stimulate the further uterine contractions. Onset of labor pain. Here you want to know about the three different terms. One is Braxton Hicks contraction. What is meant by Braxton Hicks contraction? This is the period of contraction which is weak, slow, and rhythmic that occurs throughout early periods of the gestation. Okay, what is meant by labor? Actually, these Braxton Hicks contraction, that is a slow rhythmic contraction, whenever it becomes strong, okay, switch on to strong and causes the stretching of cervix, it pushes the baby through the birth canal. Okay, and that will leads to the parturition. This is called as labor. And what is the labor contraction? These strong contraction that results in the parturition is known as the labor contraction. Okay, what is the mechanism actually? Here comes the positive feedback theory. Actually, the positive feedback theory is nothing but the thing that we came across already. It causes the stretching of cervix by the fetus head. Finally, it becomes great enough to elicit the strong reflex that causes an increase in contractibility of the uterine body. This pushes the baby forwards and which stimulates the cervix further. Okay, here you can see normal contraction will pushes the head of the baby towards the cervix, and here the stimulation, whenever the baby comes out, it will further stimulates and it will causes the contraction to be transferred from the cervix to the uterine body, and here comes the positive feedback, and this process goes on continuously until the baby is expelled out. Okay, here I want to mention about the abdominal contraction of muscles, a better flow chart, I think so. Here, whenever there is a uterine contraction during the labor, the pain signals are transferred from the uterus and the birth canal to the, and it causes the neurogenic reflex in the spinal cord. This will finally causes the intense contraction of the abdominal muscles, which adds greatly to the force that causes expulsion. Actually, the mechanics of parturition. Here you see, and this is the baby that is inside the womb. Okay, actually here comes the contraction. The contraction usually starts from the fundus and moves towards the cervix, that is, it occurs upwards down. Usually the fundus and the body region, the contraction in these two regions will be strong enough. Whenever it reaches the cervix and the adjacent area of the cervix, the contraction becomes weak. Why this happens? Because it mainly wants to expel the baby out, and whenever the contraction is strong in the cervix, it will pushes the baby upwards, but here the baby is pushed downwards with a force of 25 lb. What is the frequency of contraction? Nearly for early period it will be around 1 per 30 minute, but during the later periods of the labor it will leads to 1 per 1 to 3 minutes. Okay, wow. And the intensity of the contraction is also greatly increased, and the combined contractions of the uterine and the abdominal musculature during the delivery causes a downward force. Okay, and that particular force measures about the 25 lb. Okay, and we have to think, whenever there is a contraction there might be the obstruction of blood vessels, right? If the contraction is strong and continuous, the obstruction of the blood vessels occurs, and that may leads to the death of the fetus. But fortunately in our body there is an intermittent contraction. There is a regular interval of time between each contraction, that is a subsequent contractions. So the blood supply is provided well, so the fetus stays healthy. And I want to mention about the presentation of a baby. Usually whenever it comes to a normal delivery, uh, we have seen that every time the head comes out, and most of us may get a question, why don't the leg or some other parts of the body can crown through the cervix or vagina? But actually that happens in most of the case, nearly 95% of the cases the head comes out. Okay. But in nearly the rest, that is a 5% of the cases, he it happens like a leg, or most probably the buttock and the leg will be the thing to come out than shoulder. Okay, and these are called as breech presentations, and this is usually rare. Only 5% of the people face this. And labor, actually we have categorized the labor into two different stages. In first stage, actually whenever the fetus is inside the uterus, the only obstruction that keeps the fetus inside the uterus's cervix, because it is thickened. But during the labor, that is initial stage or the first stage of the labor, the cervix is softened and dilated. Okay, and this usually occurs for about 8 to 24 hours in first pregnancy, and after the many pregnancies it lasts as only little for few minutes. Okay, and in the second stage, this is going to be the first stage, and now the second stage is the cervix is completely dilated, the fetal membranes usually ruptured, and the amniotic fluid is released. In Tamil they will say a word, panikoda udanjiruchu, like that, and that is called as amniotic fluid release. Okay, and the head of the fetus moves rapidly into the birth canal with the additional force from above. This will happen until the baby comes out, and it occurs about 30 minutes in first pregnancies, and this will last only as less as 1 minute in the many pregnancies undergone women. Okay, and this is going to be the girl to get a baby out of her womb, and this is a picture that depicts the that baby is coming out from her uterus, and separation and delivery of the placenta. Okay, and I have a question about this. During my earlier periods, why what happens to the placenta, whether it will stay inside or comes out? There will be confusing questions about this before I studying this, and at last I came to know that the placenta will be expelled out. That is what here they have explained. After 10 to 45 minutes of the birth, uterus contracts. Whenever the uterus contracts, there is a shearing effect that causes the removal of the placenta. The placental sinus is open, it leads to the bleeding, and there will be a huge loss of blood around 350 ml. Okay, this bleeding is due to two different causes. I mean, this huge amount of bleeding. That is, one is due to the contraction of the smooth muscles, because the smooth muscles nearly surrounds the 8 blood vessels. Whenever it contracts, there is a shearing effect is the uterus, the enlarged uterus come back to its portion, right? During that time, the myometrium contracts, so that the blood vessel is also contracted. Whenever the blood vessel is contracted, the blood is released. And also due to the vasoconstrictor prostaglandins produced at the placental side. Here, the labor pain. Whenever there is a pregnancy, we will think about this, right? The shouting, the screaming of the women in the hospitals, it's really scary for us. But first stage, actually, the appearance of the crampling pain due to the hypoxia of the smooth muscles. Whenever the contraction is increased, the blood vessels will also be contracted, right? So that there won't be any sufficient supply for the muscles of uterus. This causes the hypoxia condition, and this stimulates the crampling pain. Here the impulses are carried by visceral sensory hypogastric nerve. Okay, in the second stage of labor, the fetus is expelled out, and there will be a severe pain with the following reasons: cervical stretching, perineal stretching, stretching or even tear of the vagina. And here the impulses are carried by means of an somatic nerves to the brain and the spinal cords, and not by means of the visceral sensory hypogastric nerve. I came to know about the unit of measurement of pain. Okay, actually, the unit of measurement of sound is decibel, right? In the same way, here the unit of measurement, that is the type, the instrument that is used to measure the pain is dolometry, and that unit is measured as del. Okay, and here a human can bear up to 45 units of pain, that is okay. But during the parturition, the unit of pain is about 57 unit. Involution of the uterus. What is meant by involution here stands? The involution is nothing but whenever there is a visceral organ undergoes expansion and its contraction and the further process that undergone to get back to its normal shape and structure and size. Okay, that is called as involution. Here the uterus is enlarged during the gestation period, and it has to come back to its normal form, right? So the involution occurs actually. The uterus involutes usually 4 to 5 weeks after parturition. Okay, in the first week, the weight of the uterus will become as half as the weight of postpartum uterus, and in the fourth week, the size decreases back to the normal. If a mother lactates, what is the lactation does here? Here the lactation will suppresses the secretion of the gonadotropin hormone and the ovarian hormones. In the early involution, at the placental site, the endometrial surface will undergo the autolysis. So there will be a vaginal discharge, and that particular vaginal discharge is called as lochia, and this will continues for nearly 10 days. Okay, during the early days, it is the vaginal discharge is usually bloody, and later stages it turns to be serum in nature, and thus the uterus come back to its normal position and to undergo the as usual reproductive cycles. The paraplegic patients are the patients who have undergone the paralysis of lower part of the body that may be due to injury or else diseases, some of the diseases, spinal injury, especially the spinal injury. And I hope everyone know about the Stephen Hawkins, and he's a paraplegic patient. Likewise, many of the patients in their real life had their babies. And when I go through about this, I came across the two patients. One is around 28 years and the other one is about 29 years. Actually, they were undergone pregnancies, and one day when one of the women during her defecation, she had delivered her baby because she doesn't know the labor pain and there is no sensation of it. They both are to the hospital, and after a day they were discharged and both of them are normal. And I came across these cases. Likewise, whenever I came to know about the paraplegic condition, I just remembered one woman that I her name is Munifa Muzari. She is considered to be the Iron Lady of the Pakistan. She is an artist, model, activist, anchor, and she has a very sad personal life. And we are not going to discuss about it. Finally, when you accept the way you are, the world recognizes you, and she did that. If the time permits, do watch her videos in YouTube, and it is quite inspirational. And I hope everyone do understand about the parturition that is happening during the parturition. And really hats off to all women, and happy Mother's Day. Thank you.